What's up? Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Just Jamacia. So, on this episode, I'm going to be talking about my experience working with youth in foster care within a residential treatment facility. So, if that sounds like something of interest to you, then stay tuned. So, like I've mentioned, I work within a residential treatment facility. I will not be giving the specific name of my agency because I don't feel like that's appropriate, but I am going to be talking about my daily tasks, my job title, and what it is that we do. So my official job title is a youth counselor, and what I do is kind of monitor the daily activities, facilitate groups, and supervise the well-being of clients who live within our facility. So the way that our campus is set up is there are different cottages with specific treatment needs. My cottage is specifically for clients who are sexually reactive or they have self-harm behaviors. So on a day-to-day, we can be assigned to any of like 4 different main tasks. So there's a task that includes cooking. There's a person in charge of passing out medication to the clients. There are 2 people in charge of doing showers, maintaining hygiene, and all of that. And then there's what's called responding. So responding is when we are called to other cottages to perform safe crisis management or other de-escalation techniques. And that's something that you learn within the orientation onboarding process before you even get really into your job. So what happens is if there are situations in which a client is becoming physically aggressive, is a threat to themselves or another person, then we do have to physically restrain them. We might put them in a hold, or we might have to transport them to a safer area, usually an isolated room, which are specialized rooms with padding that the clients can't hurt themselves in. In the event that we do have to perform safe crisis management, all the other clients who are not involved in that management are removed because we don't want them witnessing what's going on, and you also don't want them escalating the client, which just means like getting them more agitated. From week to week, clients participate in different groups. They participate in weeklies with their treatment team, so that might be my cottage supervisor, the care coordinator, and others involved in the treatment of the clients. They check in with them, kind of check in on their emotional well-being, and they can also determine the client's phases. So phases are kind of like the longer that a client stays and progresses toward their treatment, the certain privileges that they can gain. So if you're in an orientation phase, there's not a whole lot that you get to do, but if you're on like a phase 3, then maybe you get to take, say, a 15-minute walk by yourself around the campus or have a 15-minute phone call with a family member. Some of the groups that we facilitate are social skills groups. We do sanctuary, which is kind of like religious education. We do, physical activity with clients. We've talked about etiquette. We've talked about communication styles. We've talked about hygiene. We are talking about these skills that maybe the clients have deficits in so they can function better within the dorm and when they're leaving the facility. You have to have some patience and you have to have care for these clients. They're coming from rough backgrounds. A lot of them have witnessed abuse and neglect. It might have been sexual abuse. It might have been physical abuse. You have to be somebody who's willing to listen to their stories. A lot of times it takes somebody with empathy to do my job because clients can have a bad day because they're thinking about something that happened in school, or they might be struggling with low self-esteem. Some of them have experienced traumas and they have flashbacks. And so that's something you have to know how to operate around. When clients self-harm, our specific dorm We have to pay special attention that there aren't any items that clients can get a hold of. So sharp items always locked away, and clients cannot get a hold of them. They do not have regular pencils because of the sharp point, and also the end where the eraser is. I wish I had one with me. The end where the eraser is, usually there's like a little metal peel. They don't have any access to metal. We monitor them when they are around like wooden objects, because they've been known to break wooden objects and use them to self-harm. Certain plastic objects can be sharp enough to self-harm with. I've also witnessed clients giving themselves carpet burn, or finding like staples in the carpet and using that to self-harm, breaking objects to self-harm. So we have to really keep a close eye on them and make sure that they're not putting themselves at risk. They're teenagers as well, they're youth. So you're going to have the cattiness, you're going to have the arguing, the bickering, the bullying. Unfortunately, we have seen that. Familial concerns, questions about sex. We're just here to be a sounding board to them and also give them discipline and structure. The biggest takeaway from my job is being able to make a difference. It is hard, it is long hours, especially now. Sometimes they're 10-hour days, sometimes you're exhausted, sometimes you come in with your own emotional baggage and you feel like, today is just not your day. But another thing that they talk to us about is not being counter-aggressive. So knowing when to kind of just step away and don't get into a power struggle with clients. I have to be very self-aware and know when I'm not in the best emotional headspace, that I need to know when to remove myself and not take it out on my clients, because they're all coming in with their own issues, and it's not fair for me to put my personal struggles on them when it's supposed to be a therapeutic environment. This is what I do, and this is an example of one of the opportunities that you can get into after obtaining a degree in social work. You do not have to actually have a degree in social work to do my job, but you do get paid more if you do. How do I directly translate the skills learned in school into this? I'm always using empathy. You always have to consider ethics. Is it ethical for me to be sharing this much information with the client? Probably not. Trauma-informed care, considering the client's background when we're having interactions with them and making sure that we're not causing more emotional harm than they've already experienced. And that's just a few. So I hope that this has helped. I hope that you found this interesting, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.